What's poppin'? You see the title. I feel like singing Seal for some reason. I just don't even ask. Um, they want you black, broke, and single. Or black, single, and broke. Nothing's wrong with being black. Love it. I love it. But the broken single part is where people gonna have a big issue. See, this pandemic, if anything else is not learned, hasn't been learned, it's the importance of family. Two incomes. You know what I'm saying? Savings. Um, a good budget, right? Good benefits, right? A healthy cash flow, and the ability to learn and know how to invest and use your investments for your benefit. Now, the reason I bring it up is because I was looking at Tone Talks earlier, and I forgot the lady. It's a white woman on there who's did I saw her do a piece on white women voting Trump maybe a week, 2 weeks ago. And one of the things that was brought up was one of the reasons that white America had and black America have a wealth gap is because of marriage. When people think, white men make a dollar, white women make 84 cents to the white man's dollar, they forget that like 70 something percent of white men and women are married. So that's really like $1.80, as Tone said it. But when it comes to black America, making 60 something cents on a dollar, 50 something cents on a dollar, you're single. The vast majority of us are single. So of course that's going to be a problem. And the irony of, let's use feminism for an example. Most white women are in marriages. They're in relationships. So while they're telling you that, the patriarchy needs to be taken down, which is, I guess, white men and the racial injustice, and men are evil, they're going to bed with those guys, and they have bank accounts with those guys, and they got rings from those guys, and they live in a house with those guys, and the guy bought a nice little car for Christmas, because the Christmas commercials are about to come out. You can see the Lexus commercials and the Cadillac commercials with a man buying a woman a car, and 9 times out of 10, it's going to be white. You're not thinking about that. But more so, nobody thinks about the economy of being single. See, I know people want a high-value man. I get it. The women want a high-value man. You want a breadwinner who's making significantly more than you, but the vast majority of white women work too. So these are two-income households. You say the man makes more than a woman, fine. That's a norm. So the fact that, if somebody makes, if a man makes 75 and a wife makes 50, what's the problem? 125, right? That helps the house tremendously. But people forget about that part. But when you're single, see, nobody's there to, go grocery shopping, cook food. So, men can work overtime in a relationship. It saves you money as far as daycare, blah, blah, blah. But when you're single, you're paying for daycare. You're losing time. You're doing extra stuff. You know what I'm saying? Your bills may be, depends on how you live, and they could be higher when you're single than when you are actually in a couple, because sometimes, you're reckless. Because, it took me, when I bought a home, that's when I realized I paid less in electricity and, probably water than I did in a home than I did in an actual apartment. So that single life is more expensive. People think about being single, they think apartments, townhomes, blah, blah, blah. So there is no land, there is nothing to pass down, there is no equity. It's an equity-less life. Um, it's a legacy-less life. So when you're thinking of the near future, and adding the student loans and you're single, you know, add that onto your rent and your expenses. If you make $80,000 and you got $8,000 a year, and then and your debt is $85,000, couple that with your living expenses and taxes, you're gonna be in a negative for a significant amount of years. So people are not thinking about that. So realize that's what's going on. And some of you ladies and some of you guys who trying to hook up with somebody now that your situation is bad, you're probably not relationship material. You're just trying to get somebody to finesse. It's not gonna work because you don't have any relationship skills. So just putting that out there. Like, share, subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Peace.